Picture this. You ask a Brazilian why the bus is taking too long, and they answer,
Vai saber.
wait. Vai means go, saber means know. So, go? No. Not quite. This is one of those everyday Brazilian Portuguese expressions that make perfect sense to Brazilians, but can be very confusing if you translate them word for word. Today you'll learn 7 everyday expressions and you'll see how Brazilians naturally use them. And by the end of the lesson, you'll know what vai saber actually means. Olá pessoal! Today's lesson was suggested by a member of Plain Portuguese Club. Thank you very much for your suggestion. Let's start with a very useful expression. Até onde eu sei. Até onde eu sei. Repeat. Até onde eu sei. Literally, it sounds something like up to where I know, but the natural English equivalent is as far as I know. Até onde eu sei. Imagine you'd like to know if the grocery store opens on Sundays.
O mercado abre aos domingos?
Até onde eu sei, abre. Or simply, até onde eu sei, sim. If the answer is negative, até onde eu sei, não abre. Até onde eu sei, não. Another situation. You're waiting at a bus stop and want to make sure you are in the right place.
O ônibus para aqui?
Até onde eu sei, para. Até onde eu sei, sim. If the answer is negative, até onde eu sei, não para. Até onde eu sei, não. By saying até onde eu sei, the person gives you the information they have while leaving room for the possibility that things may be different. Oh, and there's another expression Brazilians use in very similar situations. Our second expression is que eu saiba. Que eu saiba. Repeat. Que eu saiba. Que eu saiba can also mean as far as I know. For example, you'd like to know if the street vendor accepts credit cards.
O vendedor aceita cartão de crédito?
As far as I know, he does. Que eu saiba, aceita. Que eu saiba, sim. Negative? Ah, que eu saiba, não aceita. Que eu saiba, não. So far, these two expressions are very close. Até onde eu sei and que eu saiba. In many everyday situations, both sound perfectly natural. But when the answer is negative, there is a third very useful variation. You've just learned the phrase que eu saiba não, but you could also hear não que eu saiba. Não que eu saiba. Let's say that you want to know if the restaurant closes in the afternoon.
O restaurante fecha à tarde?
Que eu saiba não. Or não que eu saiba. Não que eu saiba. Do they accept reservations?
Eles aceitam reservas?
Que eu saiba não. Or não que eu saiba. Não que eu saiba. So these 3 first expressions all deal with what someone knows or doesn't know. Let's put these first 3 phrases together. I'm yellow and you're green. Read your lines out loud. Com licença, o ônibus 409 passa aqui? Ele para perto do Jardim Botânico? Ele já passou? Muito bom! If these real Brazilian Portuguese expressions are useful to you, give the video a like. Now we are moving from what someone knows or doesn't to what someone remembers. If you ask about a specific detail and the person is trying to remember, you may hear se não me engano. Se não me engano, it means if I'm not mistaken. Se não me engano. Let's say you want to know which bus goes downtown.
Qual ônibus vai para o centro?
Se não me engano, é o 302. Se não me engano, é o 302. You'd like to know if you need a bus pass.
Preciso de um cartão de transporte?
Se não me engano, não. Se não me engano, não. If I'm not mistaken, you can also pay in cash. Se não me engano, você também pode pagar em dinheiro. Se não me engano, você também pode pagar em dinheiro. So, se não me engano is very useful when someone is trying to remember a time, a number, a name, a place, or another specific detail. Now the next expression works differently. We are not trying to remember something, no. We are looking at a situation and drawing a conclusion from what we see. Our phrase is pelo jeito. Pelo jeito. Pelo jeito is equivalent to it looks like or apparently. Imagine you are looking for a restaurant. You arrive, but the lights are off and the door is locked. Looks like it's closed. Pelo jeito, está fechado. Or more colloquially, tá. Pelo jeito, tá fechado. Pelo jeito, tá fechado. It looks like we arrived too late. Pelo jeito, chegamos tarde demais. Pelo jeito, chegamos tarde demais. Pelo jeito vai chover. Pelo jeito vai chover. Pelo jeito is very conversational. Now compare that with a more careful sounding expression. Like, pelo jeito, ao que tudo indica, also tells us that the information available points toward a conclusion. Repeat after me. Ao que tudo indica. Ao que tudo indica. A natural English equivalent can be apparently, or everything indicates that, or by all indications, ao que tudo indica. Imagine you are at the airport. Your flight has already been delayed, the weather is getting worse, so you ask an airline employee,
O voo vai atrasar de novo?
All indications are that it will. Ao que tudo indica, sim. Ao que tudo indica, sim. After checking the latest information, the employee says, all indications are that there will be some changes. Ao que tudo indica, haverá algumas mudanças. Ao que tudo indica, haverá algumas mudanças. So compare. Pelo jeito, vai chover. Ao que tudo indica, haverá algumas mudanças. So both expressions can introduce a conclusion based on information available. But pelo jeito is generally much more conversational. Ao que tudo indica tends to sound more neutral, careful, or even formal. And now we've reached the expression that makes the least sense if you translate it word for word. It's the one you heard at the beginning of the lesson. Vai saber. Repeat. Vai saber. The natural English equivalent is often who knows? Who knows? Yeah. Imagine you're waiting for a bus. It's very late, so you ask me why the bus hasn't come yet.
Por que o ônibus não veio?
I have absolutely no idea. Like, who knows? Vai saber. Vai saber. Another example. You're waiting for your luggage at the airport and it's taking forever.
Por que está demorando tanto?
Vai saber. Vai saber. In this kind of situation, vai saber is a very natural way to say that you simply don't know or maybe nobody knows. Vai saber. Now let's practice the last three expressions together. I'm yellow, you're green. Com licença, que horas começa o café da manhã? E será que o restaurante está aberto? São 7:30. Por que ainda não abriram o restaurante? Muito bom, muito bom. These expressions, they have familiar equivalents in English, but translating each word separately won't always help you understand what Brazilians really mean. My recommendation, learn them as complete expressions. And click here to learn some complete expressions with Seja, and I'll see you there.